Okay, we're working on the planning workshop and we were solving absolute value function. We already did step 1, the table of values, by finding the turning point and then determining which x's are we going to work with on the table of values, and then finding the y's using the formula of the exercise. Now what we're going to do is we're going to continue working with step 2. Step 2 is basically drawing the graph of the function. In order to do that, we're going to have to work with the numbers that we got in the table of values, and we're going to use them as if they were points, as like the -4 and the 1 will be basically point -4, comma 1, -3 and -1 will be point -3, comma -1, and so on. So we're going to mark these points on a coordinate plane. So what we're going to do first is draw the coordinate plane, a Cartesian plane. It should look like something like this. Okay, remember that you draw the x or the horizontal axis and the y or the vertical axis. They need to have their respective arrow, the lowercase x and the lowercase y in there, and each one of the marks representing which are the x's and the y references. Okay. So using the table of values, we know the first point will be -4, comma 1. So horizontally from the center, I'm going to move to -4, and from there I'm going to go up 1 position. So the point should be there. Okay, so that will be point -4, comma 1. Then the next point is -3, comma -1. So I'm going to go to -3, and from -3 I'm going to go down 1 position. So that will be -3, comma -1. The next point is -2, comma -3. So from the center I'm going to move horizontally to -2, and from -2 I'm going to move vertically down to -3, and that will be the next point. And then the next point will be -1, comma -1. So horizontally I'm going to move to -1 in x, and vertically I'm going to move to -1 on y. Okay, so that's where the next point will be. And the last point is 0, comma 1. So because it's 0 on the axis, that means that I'm not going to move horizontally, I'm going to stay in the center. From there I'm going to look for number 1 in y. So vertically I'm going to move 1 position up, and that's where the last point for making the drawing is going to be. These points kind of look like if I'm going to have a u of a quadratic formula, of a quadratic function, sorry, but that's not the case. The graph of absolute value function is v. Okay, so I'm going to have to draw a line in these points, and once I get here, which is the turning point, if you remember, the turning point was x minus 2. So in here I'm going to move in the opposite direction in a line, following a line. Okay, one single line in here and another line in this direction. So you're going to grab your ruler and draw them, and they should look like something like this. Okay, now once you draw them, remember you need to put arrows on the drawing, okay, to explain that the line continues forward. Okay, and then you are going to cut it and paste it on your notebook. Okay, so that's kind of like what we're going to do right now. So that's what we do here, and you can see that we put the arrows at on the end points of the drawing. Okay, and that will be it. That's how we make the graph of an absolute value function.